Ah, you are indeed fortunate, Sir Knight. The villain you seek has his lair in this very cave. The robed pony motioned at the mine entrance with a nod of his head. In there? You're sure of this? The brave knight asked as she peered inside. Of course, would I lie? You might have to leave your lance behind, though. A lot of narrow passages down there. The filly threw the stranger a few scrutinized glances, then looked straight at the audience and shrugged. She put her lance against the rocks outside and approached. If I don't find him in there, I'm coming back here to kick your flank, Scootaloo said again, interprinting the script literally. As soon as she stepped into the darkness, Snips sprang into motion and pulled a rock away to reveal an old-fashioned lever hidden not unlike those to change the direction. Hey, it's a dead end in here. What are you playing at? School's echoing from the inside of the cave. Upon hearing this, Snips pulled the lever into a neutral position, and at once a metal gate slammed shut at the entrance of the mine. Scoot's helmeted head reappeared in the light as she looked at the metal bars in front of her with fake astonishment, shaking them violently with her. What is this trickery? Let me out right this instant, or the justice of King Gold Crown shall come down upon your head, be whoever you may. The hooded pony let out a diabolical laugh as he approached the metal gate, standing next to it as he addressed the knight, so that he may still roughly be faced for the be whoever I may. Why, you're trickier than I thought. Thicker than I thought. You're right, you righteous fool. It is, of course, I, Reginald the Sly. Snips announced as he drew back the hood and revealed himself. Did you think I would not expect one of you to come here eventually, or that I would not recognize the great Sir Lancelot, bravest of all knights in the realm? When she arrived upon my doorstep, it is your courage that shall now be your undoing, he continued, followed by more laughter. Sir Lancelot shook the metal gate some more and tried to lift it up, but she could not. You devil, you heathen, you dishonorable wretch, when I get out of here, it'll be off with your head. Reginald the Sly paused for a moment as he put both his hooves on the lever once more. Then it is fortunate, he said, that you will never get out of here again. He pulled down, and suddenly the great rumbling we heard throughout the theater as the orchestra kicked in with an impressive display of percussive instruments. Sir Lancelot, much like the audience, recoiled and looked around fearfully, taking a few steps backward into the mine, thus disappearing out of sight. There was a loud crash as the cloud of smoke and dust interrupted the mine. Once it was cleared and the music died down, the audience could see the entrance of the cave again, but the opening behind it was now blocked with what appeared to be a wall of stone and rubble. Snip stealthily took the lance the knight had left behind between his teeth and walked off. As the stage light gradually died down and the curtains closed, the audience remained silent for the moment, surprised by a sudden development, but then suddenly started talking amongst themselves about the events of the place. The only one who seemed to have anything bad to say about it was Rainbow Dash, who thought it was pure folly to kill off a character of the most talented actor in the group so soon. Cheerilee left her spot in the prompts corner and went back under the stage. She headed in the direction of the faint banging noise towards the part directly under the mine. She couldn't help smiling at the thought that everything had worked for all these months was finally paying off. And the memories of how it had all started involuntarily flooded her mind. And And that's how Equestria was made, concluded Cheerilee. Concluding her little history lesson, she turned away from the blackboard to face the class and was at once struck about how eerily unfamiliar the scene still felt. Even since the board had decided to change up the groups and put them in charge of the fillies and foals who needed some extra attention. Things had been taking a turn for the worse. She had been used to seeing the students off at the end of the year, and welcoming new ones back at the beginning of the next. Of course, but despite this, getting a new group assigned to her out of the blue just didn't feel quite right. Especially not this group, Cheerilee thought as she thought, gritting her teeth in pure frustration. It became at once clear that no filly or foal in the room had actually been listening to a word she had said. As pure usual. Instead, Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo were having a hushed conversation, while Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara seemed to be more inclined to admire each other's jewelry instead of concentrating on the lesson at hand. In the background, Snips and Snails were laughing at something that could only ever be amused to the likes of them. A sudden smile suddenly crept on Cheerilee's face as she noticed there was, in fact, one single filly who seemed to be paying attention. "Oh, Apple Bloom, would you mind explaining the importance of the day-night cycle to your less attentive classmates?" Cheerilee asked as cheerful as she could manage. To her great surprise and even great annoyance, Apple Bloom seemed to veer up at the mere mention of her name, looking around the room somewhat panically. "Oh, yeah, I suppose I could. Let's see here now," Apple Bloom said as she scratched her. "Night and day are important because if there are only one or the other, either lunar or celestial, would be very sad," she concluded with a smile, raising a hoof and a "That's it, right, Jester?" Cheerilee gritted her teeth once again. Of course, the one filly who had been paying attention hadn't understood a word she said. As Cheerilee opened her mouth to formulate a characteristic response, Scootaloo suddenly loudly interjected, "That's stupid. Really, whoever can't come up with a reason as ridiculous as that?" She pointed a hoof toward. I don't see you coming up with a better answer either. I bet you don't even know what you're talking about. What you're talking about," Evelyn retorted just as loudly as she crossed her hooves above her chest. "Oh yeah? Why did I get a better grade on that last test then? We all know you cheated." "Did not. Did too. Did not. Did so. Did..." "Girls!" Cheerilee shouted. "This is neither the time nor the place to have such pointless debates. You're here to learn and pay attention, and that goes for all of you. Yes, you too, Diamond Tiara. Don't look so surprised." She paused one moment as she met the gaze of every filly and foal in the room, as they were finally quiet for once. "I'd have thought the topic of today's class would be exceedingly interesting for young ponies who, like you all, witnessed Princess Luna's return, a major historical event that shed much light on our country's history and origin."